How is everybody doing, guys? What's up, Red Flames? What's up, Angelic, Kiru, Ivailo? Welcome back, nobody. What's up, everybody? How was your weekend? Let me know in the comments how your weekend was. We're here today. Hey, let's go, FX Africa. Welcome back. I'm glad you're back at the stream. What's up, SoFi? I'm great as well, man. I can't complain. I'm a little tired. I don't know if you guys can see it. A little tired, but we good, man. We alive, we healthy. That's what it's about. What's up, Crystal Path? Good morning, good morning. Or good evening. For me, it's already 4 p.m., man. Your weekend went well? Man, I'm glad to hear that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the weekend and use the weekend as always to go over your trading, go over your performance, and see what you can improve this week, guys. We got I think we got some interesting potential setups. If not today, maybe tomorrow. But I believe that gold is setting up. Gold is setting up for something for a big move right now, which will we go over here in a second. What's up, Eduardo? Welcome to the stream, man. I'm still gonna wait for some people to join in before starting the breakdown. So until then, we can chitty chat a little bit. Been busy. Yo, I love ThinkCapital. We love you too, man. We love you too. Have you been funded with us already, or you're currently doing a challenge? And how is it going, man? I hope it's going well. I'm still waiting for some people to join in on here. But let's see what we get. Let's see what we get this week, guys. Let's see. Last week was pretty good, not gonna lie. Last week was pretty good in the markets. I did catch a nice buy setup. It was a kind of a pullback trade that I took. I did mainly miss out on the sales though, not gonna lie. But nevertheless, I ended in positive in the week. So that's what it's about. What's up, Forex Fusion? Welcome to the stream, man. No, I did not profit from the sell. I profited from a short-term buy, actually. But the sells were juicy. The sells were super juicy. I'll go over it here in a second, but we did have a nice head and shoulder pattern as well. And then after that, price just absolutely melted. What's up, Great Joseph? Welcome, man. Love to see you all back in the stream. Not yet trading with ThinkCapital, but the rules is flexible. Yes, sir. So, didn't you win a challenge last week? I don't know if you did. I don't know if it was you. But I would highly recommend to try out ThinkCapital, guys. Not because I'm an official partner, but overall they really have great conditions and great prices as well. What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Love to see you too, man. Yeah. Pure love to you guys, man. I love you. You're like such a awesome and great community, really. I'm really looking forward to grow the fam as well. First time A&M station. Welcome to the stream, man. We about to go crazy. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Evan. I'm 28, but I do feel like I'm 16 sometimes. And yeah, man. So there's one simple rule in my streams, right? No question is a dumb question. So what I mean by that is that you can ask me anything regarding trading, psychology, strategy, emotions, business, right? Whatever questions you guys have, you can feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll try to go over every question and just make the stream as valuable as possible, right? And like I said, if you feel like there's a dumb question, there is no dumb question. Even if it's the simplest question, you can feel free to ask me. You were not lucky for the giveaway. Maybe you'll win this today, man. Maybe you'll win today then. When is the giveaway? You gotta stay tuned. Yeah, you just gotta stay tuned. You gotta watch the entire stream, man. in order to enter and see how you can enter. I really love how you answered my questions last week. Yeah, Africa. I mean, I tried, man. I tried. You did ask a lot, but I think I covered most of them. I tried my best here. What's up, Moon? Welcome back to the stream. All right, guys. Should we get started with the breakdown? I think so, right? That's because that's what you're here for, right? For the breakdown. All right, and let me share my screen here and see what we can get today and for the rest of the week. Um, let's open this up. All right, drop a one in the comments if you guys can see my screen. So I want to make sure you guys really see everything. Of course, Gray, I got you. All right, I'm guessing you guys can see my screen here. All right, should we get started? Let's get started with the juicy part here on the stream. So, guys, we are currently on gold. Gold is the only pair I trade. I do not look at any other pairs, and I highly recommend anybody starting out with trading to just focus on one pair at the beginning and learn how it likes to move. So that's what I did with gold. So I kind of know, right, the average range it likes to move. I kind of like know if it's more bullish or bearish, right? F- So yeah. So what I always like to do on gold is, start off with a breakdown, a top-down analysis, and I start off on the weekly time frame because I want to see, okay, how did the last weekly candle close and what could we expect for this week? So looking at the candle closure here on the weekly time frame, we see that it did close bullish and kind of in a morning star pattern here. But at the same time, we had a huge rejection to the upside. So it's showing that based off the 4200s, we did see a lot of sellers step back into the market and push price back down. And I hope that some of you take advantage of these sales because there was a super nice sell setup. Me personally, I missed out on it, unfortunately. I did catch some short-term buys up here, but nevertheless, this was a great sell setup. But overall, looking at the candle closure only, it did close bullish. So coming into this week, if we can close back above the 4100s, I do see the potential of price continuing up higher, but we're gonna have to wait and see if it can hold or break above the area and if it can hold above the 4030s, right? So if it can hold above the 4030s, I also see it coming back up. Oops. Bad. So let's go down to the daily time frame. What can we see here? All right, daily, very interesting. So on the daily, we did have last week, we had this double bottom pattern over here where I was mainly bullish bias based off this W pattern. We did get a breakout to the upside and we're currently in the pullback phase, right? So what I want to see now is basically price literally pull back right into this daily area at the 4030s. So here, based off this, we could potentially take a buy position all the way back up into previous daily highs up here if it can hold above the area. That would be my first area for me to be looking to long. Will be somewhere down here. If we could get a nice break in break a structure in the 5-minute time frame, then I would not be opposed to taking longs here. And that only based off this current market structure. So if we just maybe look at the market structure, we see we got a breakout, right? This is the breakout leg because this leg here broke this structure. This lower high got broken with a new higher high, right? Now we are in a pullback phase. So we got a breakout, we got a pullback. And typically, if this should be a 3-leg extension, which we got 1 leg, 2 legs, 3-leg extension typically will be the breakout, the continuation leg, right? The extension leg, better said. So we got a breakout, pullback, and extension leg. So that's what we could basically be anticipating on the daily time frame. But nothing is guaranteed, right? So let's go lower to the lower time frame, such as a 4-hour, and see what we get here. So on the 4-hour, though, we are currently bearish. So it's important to notice that on the weekly we're bullish, daily we're bullish, but the 4-hour is bearish. So what does that mean? That based off the intraday trend, we're bearish. Hence, we could look for short-term sales as well because short-term we're bearish still. So either you're gonna wait for the 4-hour to break structure to the upside for you to be more confident in taking buys, or you're going to look for short-term sells based off some of the zones you have. So for example, this 40.95 area would have been a nice area to sell. Why? Because we were back under our previous support. So you guys see here we had support and support. We broke under, closed below the 50 EMA as well, started rejecting this as a resistance. So any sell you would have taken here in this area, you could have capitalized back down into this 1 hour range, and maybe even all the way back down into this daily and 4 hour range here. What's up, Shazaib? What's up, Mac? Um, can we enter? I would not enter here yet. So let's go lower. Top down analysis, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, right? So let's go down to the 1 hour and see. So on the 1 hour, we are ranging. Some of you guessed it right in the comments. We are very, very much ranging. So what would I be looking here? For me to take high probability, let's start with the buy setup, right? For the high probability buy setup, what do I need to see? I need to see a um at least like a 30-minute candle close above this range, right? I want to see a pullback into this range. I want to see a rejection candle on the 5-minute time frame somewhere here, right? Somewhere down here. And then I want to long this. This would be one of the only buy setups I would be interested in taking. Why? Because I don't really want to get down here, because there's the potential of prices continuing to chop around, play with my emotions. I don't want to be involved in this chop over here. I want to wait for volume to kick into the market, for example, to the upside, and then I want to hop in on the volume and ride it up. That would be the first scenario for a buy setup. Now, what other scenario could we be looking for, or could I be looking for? So let me actually draw this out. So the first setup is a break and retest above the trend line, above support like this. This will be a high probability buy setup. And now a sell potential will be if we close under this 1 hour support. Now, what's interesting about this area is that it will be a little bit small. So the profit range, or let's say we get in and sell somewhere down here, the profit target, the main profit target for me will be down here, right? So we're just talking this minor range here. From here to here, this will be the sell area. I will be looking to take sells from here to here. Now, once we reach this major daily support, though, I do believe that there's a high probability of reversing, breaking structure to the upside, and then having more volume to the upside. So that will be another high probability buy setup, which will be to wait for price to reach our major support zone at the daily zone. So let me draw this out for you here as well. So will be a pullback into this area, break a structure, wait for the break of structure, it's important, and then take buys up. So this mainly will be the two high probability setups I will be looking for and waiting for today. We're either going to get it today. If not, and price continues chopping around during the entire session, then I highly believe that we're going to get the breakout tomorrow, the latest. Love the details explanation. Appreciate you, man. What's one thing you wish someone told you before you ever traded gold? Um, Honestly, there's no real thing that I wish somebody would have told me. But just a clear clarification of the different levels in trading and the difficulty levels. Not every pair moves the same. Every pair has a different amount of volume and points it likes to move per session on average. And now gold is considered very volatile. So when you compare gold to, for example, Euro USD is very slow. You have a lot of time to make decisions. So that's why I recommend trading Euro USD or GBP USD for beginner traders, because you have more time to make decisions. Now, in comparison, when you compare it to gold is a little faster. So you have to have a fast reaction time, and you have to be able to execute very quick, because once gold starts moving, it starts moving, right? And then we have, for example, indices like NAS 100, S&P 500, US 30. Those indices are more volatile than gold. So there's like this three levels. We have Forex, gold, and then indices. And you can decide what level you would like to be for yourself. How do you avoid overtrading when gold becomes too tempting? I mean, you gotta have a night like a clear target on the day, and a set amount of rules. So, if, for example, if you lose the first trade, are you able to re-enter? If so, if you lose the second trade, how do you handle that? Will you stop trading for the day, or do you have the possibility for a third trade? If the first trade is profit or in break even, how are you gonna react to that? So those are all like set like rules that you're gonna have to set for yourself. So with having rules, that's how you avoid over trading. What's up, Omar? I'm not in a position right now. What's up, Harsh? Bye bye. Yeah, maybe, but I gotta wait for the price to confirm that we're bullish. Um, how do you judge whether gold's volatility is tradable or too dangerous? For example, right now, this is chop. I do not want to be involved in this. This is bad. So when I already see this, look, we're in a 1 hour time frame, and in this 1 hour time frame, we've been ranging in like this 300 pip range. So when I see that, I don't want to be involved, because what guarantees me that if I get in now, for example, in buys here, and I put my stop below here, it might work out, but hey, what guarantees me that just because I got in on this trade right now is got to take off? Nothing. It could continue chopping the entire session, entire, maybe even stop me out, then go back to break even, blah blah blah. So as long as price does not confirm where I want to go, I don't want to be in the market yet, because I'm not impatient. I'm a patient trader, right? So I want to wait for price to show me, yo, Evan, look, we're bullish now. I'm breaking out. I'm breaking structure to the upside. Now I can take advantage. If I don't get that today, I don't trade today. That's simple. EMA is bearish. It's bearish structure. Yeah, so basically on the low time frames it is bearish, but on the high time frames we're still bullish. Look, we're above the EMA on the higher time frames. So I like to orient myself on higher time frames. Now, if I wanted to be super safe, literally the 4 hour, right? The 4 hour EMA, if this 4 hour flips bullish and closes back above my range, now it will also be closing above the EMA on the 4 hour. So now I got more confidence again. And on a 5 minute, we're basically ranging in between the EMA. So also here, if we start breaking above, we will also be above the EMA on the 5 minute as well. And also we would be breaking above the 30 minutes. So, that's why I'm waiting. Right now we're bearish. So I'm not taking longs here. Forex is the slowest one. Exactly. Gold is love, Evan. I love gold, man. I trade only gold, but there is this notion that if you trade just gold, both your loss and profit will be 50-50. How true is that? I don't know if I can agree with that actually. Because ultimately it comes up to your strategy and to your execution, because you can profit on gold on longs and you can also profit on gold on shorts, right? Just like on all the other pairs. So it's not that it's gold that will give you a 50-50 win rate. It's more so your strategy and your risk to reward ratio. Even if you win 50% of the time and you lose 50% of the time, if your average risk to reward ratio is at least a 1 to 2, hence you risk 1% to make 2%, you're still profitable even if you have a 50% win rate. I lost account using US30. It tanked 500 points in 1 hour. Yeah, US30 is reckless. I also got clapped various times on US30, and that's why I stopped trading it, because it's just not for me. Mistake you still catch yourself making in gold trading? I mean, honestly, there's no real. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm perfect, because I'm not a perfect trader, bro. I still make mistakes like everybody else. If there's one mistake that I could maybe try to minimize, will be to uh, not wait long enough for an entry. Sometimes I'm a little bit too early, and then I get stopped out unnecessary, and then it goes in my direction. That sometimes happens on gold, because that's how gold likes to move. So Instead of like just jumping in right away when it's at your zone, just make sure to actually wait for the price action, actually wait for a break of structure. And that's just me talking out of experience. Gold wants to fall. Yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. If it does close below here, we could possibly look for a short-term sell from this point to this point down here. But the high probability buy, I think I might be waiting for the high probability buy down here if we get it. Um, do you believe in ICT and CRT strategy? What's your go-to strategy? If I believe in it, look, that's a great topic that traders love to talk about, right? So, look, guys, let me be real with you. Most of the strategies work. I would say 85-90% of the strategies out there actually work. So, who am I to say that ICT is better, that SMC is better, that price action is better, whatever it is, right? If the strategy works for you, then yes, it works. For me personally, though, I think I tried out ICT for like 1 or 2 days. I got lost. Way too much for me personally, that I could not handle. So then I went back to the basics. I'm like, no, you know what? I want to look at the chart, understand what is happening right now with the price action, have my zones ready, and then take trades based off my zones. And that was the simplest thing for me, and that worked for me. So what I trade price action, support and resistance, and I just look what the market is doing. I look at the trend and I try to trade with the high trend on the higher time frames. But that does not mean that ICT, SMC, whatever other strategy does not work. It just comes up to you and your trading style. If you are good with knowing like a bunch of terms and a bunch of small micro movements and understanding supply and demand and whatever, and ICT actually works for you because you understand it, then go for it, right? So yeah, but I like to keep it simple, man. Zen patience, exactly. We got to stay patient, guys. Time frame gives you the clearest direction on gold. Honestly, it's the daily 4 hour and the 1 hour. It's the daily 4 hour and 1 hour for me that give me the directions. Do you think it's more profitable to buy gold instead of sell gold? Yes, long term for sure. So if you're holding gold long term, investing or even swing trading, I believe that long term longs are more profitable. Yes. If you day trade in gold though, and you see that on the intraday trend, for example, right now the 1 hour or the 4 hour is bearish, then you could definitely profit on sales as well. Yo, what's up, Yusuf? My average RR is a 1 to 3. I actually increased that because for the longest time, I had a mental barrier where I would always get out at a 1 to 2. Price would continue to a 1 to 5, 1 to 6. My mental barrier said once I'm up at 1 to 2, I have to close because that's how I got introduced to trading with a certain strategy. So I had to rewire my brain to hold the trade longer and look to maximize my risk reward ratio. So now my average is a 1 to 3, but I do get a lot of 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s. ICT does not work. I wouldn't say it doesn't work. I would say it is a little complicated because you have over 400 videos on ICT, where he presents you. I think like 50 different strategies. So if you just choose one, man, and you apply that and it works, man, then you're good. But the moment you start to look, okay, maybe it's the turtle soup setup, maybe it's the fair value gap setup, maybe it's the liquidity grab, blah. Once you start going crazy, and your charges and you and the charges become overwhelmed, that's when you end up failing. Have I ever tried price action? Man, that's the only thing I trade. That's the only thing I trade. And I use support and resistance on top. So I will consider actually like support and resistance basically be price action. There's like no wrong or right actually. There's no wrong or right strategy overall. Best course or book to learn price action? Book wise, I never read it myself, but I think Naked Forex. It's called Naked Forex. I heard that should be a good one for price action. That book. Do I look at the 1 minute? Very rarely. Mainly just if I'm looking for like a super sniper entry for a break of structure on a 1 minute time frame. How do you prepare for trading gold during high impact news events? So, like always, before my session, I like to, and let me actually open back up the chart for you guys. I like to check out the news and the high folder news, right? The high impact news. And if there's news with the USD, obviously gold is involved. I want to stay away and wait for the news to pass. And then after like half an hour, 1 hour after the news, that's when I could be looking to look for potential setup here. Win rate with a 1 to 3. Great question. It really varies. I would be lying if I would tell you that every time it's a 70%. It really varies because the market conditions always change. But if we're talking average in the last 4.5 years, I would say 60%. That's like average. Until I finish watching ICT, I'll have to retire. Bro, facts though. Sadly, that's facts, bro. It's just too much info, bro. I really appreciate that this guy ICT is giving away everything for free or most of his strategies, but it comes to a point where it's just too much and it's very overwhelming for people starting out with trading, you know. How often do you manually journal your gold trades? Um, Honestly, I'm at a point right where I'm just gonna be very transparent and honest. I do not document all of my trades anymore because I'm at a point where I understand my strategy. I understand that I don't have to take a screenshot before and after to understand what works. But if you're a beginner, 100% guys, 100% journal your trades. You have to collect data, right? You have to collect data of what works and what doesn't work. If you do not save that data, you cannot improve. It just absolutely makes sense, right? So if you're in your first 2 years of trading or under that, journal your trades. Take a screenshot before the setup, what you were looking for. Take a screenshot after the setup, and what ended up playing out. And then you have, like, let's say you do that on 100 trades, you will have an entire book of different trading setups. And now you can say, okay, crazy, my break and retest setup has the highest win rate, and the average it likes to move is a 3 hour multiple. So now when you come into the market, what should you mainly be looking for? Exactly, a break and retest setup and target a 1 to 3 hour multiple. But you can only find that out if you journal that before. 60% is crazy. Yeah, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. I do believe that there's still potential for the upside because I do have a friend. Maybe some of you know him. He's called Greco the One. Bro, this dude is absolutely killing it in the markets. Absolute. Bro has like a 90% win rate, like no lie. He's been trading less than me, but he's also like a big inspo for me personally. Because it shows what is possible. It shows what is possible if you really understand the market. So although 60% is crazy, it's good, it's profitable for sure. I do believe there's still some upside. People watch ICT and open courses, minimizing it and start their business. Man, I think that actually works though. It actually works though. After early London, rebounding gold has been ranging since then. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting right now. When your losing streak is on, what do you do and what books do you read? Could you please tell me a little about it? Sure, Burhan. So, losing streaks, first of all, are part of the game. It's absolutely normal. Obviously, we dislike them, but if you try to, like, if you understand that they're normal, then accepting them will become a little more easy. So, what I like to do when I'm in a losing streak is, first of all, I want to minimize my risk. Because what a lot of people get wrong is they start risking more because they try to make back the losses from the losing streak. So they end up losing all of the profits that they made before. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Um, okay, it's gone. Is it gone? Yeah. So, where was I? Yeah, so basically you want to minimize your risk because you're not in the best state of mind to be trading and to be risking more. Once you get slowly out of that losing streak, you can start increasing your risk to the normal size or maybe even more. If you're in a winning streak, then you can risk a little more because obviously you are in flow and in the zone with the market. So why shouldn't you, capitalize off that as well? Yo, Coco, what's up, bro? And now, what books help me is Best Loser Wins. Best Loser Wins, guys. Like, cause he literally focuses on losing and how normal it is in trading. So Best Loser Wins is my number one, and then The Zen Trader is my number two favorite book on handling losses and handling trading psychology overall. Too much name. Most important is experience in psychology. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Do you try to recover loss right after losing trade or call it a day? I used to like one of my biggest issues actually was over trading for 2 years straight. So every time I'd lose, I wasn't able to accept the loss, and I would just try to make back the loss, and I would end up over trading and losing more. So, how did I go about handling that? One simple rule: I could take up to 2 trades a day. If the first trade is a winner, I'm done for the day because I don't want to be greedy. If the first trade is a loser and the market conditions are met, I could look to re-enter on another position, either in the other direction because there's a lot of volume and I was totally wrong about the direction, or in the same direction if the first setup is still valid and I just got wicked out. Now, if the second trade is a loser, I'm done for the day. If the second trade is a winner, I'm also done for the day. All right. So that's basically how I can minimize my losses, maximize my profit, maximize my wins. Because when my first trade is a winner and I'm in profit for the day, why should I be looking to re-enter on another trade? That will ultimately be breaking my rules because now I'm just being greedy because the market already gave me money. Why do I want more? Why do I want more? Right? So I want to minimize my greed because with greed comes loss. And then if I lose, I don't want to be like, oh, I lost my first trade. Now this entire day is messed up. Fuck trading, blah blah. No, it's part of the game to lose. Maybe you just got into early. Maybe the market decided to go in the other direction. Maybe you could give it a second try. So give it a second try. And if that's a loss as well, man, that's it. Call it. Call it because after the first trade, after the second trade, you become very, very emotional. And now every decision you make afterwards is an emotional decision, but it's not a logical decision. I hope that kind of makes sense. I have a bad habit of forcing trades. Any tips? Is it normal to wait days for a setup? What's up, Mario? First of all, thank you for your awesome question. Because I believe that's a very important question that everybody needs to hear the answer here. So, any tips on forcing trades? Listen, not every day is a trading day. For me right now, I'm way over in session already. Like I've been in session for over an hour. I'm not taking any trades. Why? Because the price action is choppy and the market is not giving me any setups here. So would I be fine with not taking any trades today? Absolutely. Because what I want to do, or what you also want to do as a trader, you want to preserve your capital. You don't want to throw it outside just because you want to feel dopamine, because trust me, I understand how you feel. You prepare for the market, you make your analysis, you're here during session and you stare at the charts, and now you got to feel something from it, right? Because you already dedicated so much time to your pre-market analysis, to your weekend preparation for trading, and now it's Monday and the market's open and you want to trade actively. So I totally understand that feeling. But right now, like this is the moment where you gotta stay disciplined and tell yourself, if I get in on a setup or on a trade on gold right now or on any other pair, am I taking this trade because I actually have a setup, or am I taking this trade because I want to feel something? And if the answer is that you want to take the trade just because you want to feel something, then that's already a bad trade that you shouldn't even be taking. So, what do you want to do instead? You want to compensate that feeling of euphoria. You want to compensate the feeling of dopamine with something else that doesn't have to do with trading, because obviously the chart is not giving you anything to trade either way. So, how can you compensate? Go to the gym, eat something, sleep a little bit, play video games, have a hobby, spend time with your family or with your partners, do something else that makes you happy. Don't try to look for happiness in the charts, period. And then come back tomorrow, rinse and repeat. Pre-market analysis, make your breakdown, wait for a setup. And you're either going to get a setup or you're not going to get a setup again. And if you don't get a setup again, don't trade. Come back the next day, rinse and repeat. And that's what's going to make you a disciplined trader. The days where you can avoid trading, although you've prepared, that's going to make you a disciplined trader. I hope that kind of helped you. Appreciate you guys. I'm glad you're enjoying the value so far, man. I love when I'm in the flow. Evan, what is trading? What is trading? Trading is life. Trading is life. Currently 3% up on the trade I took today on gold. I haven't closed yet because my TP is a 1 to 8. Well, that's crazy. What do you think is this greed or just following your trading plan? If your average risk reward ratio is a 1 to 8, then you're following your trading plan. If your average risk reward ratio is like a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, then you are greedy. And it ultimately also comes up to your profit target, man. What's your profit target though? Because if the profit target is based off price action and the trend is still active, man, you can hold. And if your stop loss is a break even, bro, you're chilling. Yeah, exactly. Take partials, or go break even, and you're chilling, bro. Smoking might not kill you, but overtrading does. Oh shit, bro. Nah, that's toxic, bro. What is the first clue you look for when gold is about to reverse? Break of structures. Break of structures on the 5-minute time frame. I've covered break of structures before on the streams, but I don't know if you were here that time. So I could basically just break down the 3 different types of break of structures that I really like to look out for on gold here. So we'll go over here this in a second. So get ready for some volume, bro. Value. I can't even speak, man. So let's say that we are in a bullish trend, right? And I want to look to long based off different zones, based off the support zone. So price comes into my support in a bearish market structure on a 5-minute time frame, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then we reach our major support zone, which in my case will be a daily range, a 4-hour range, or 1-hour range. One of these 3. So once we reach that area, now what I'm going to be looking for is 3 different breaker structures. We got the first one, which will be this, a double bottom, right? So what does this double bottom mean? This means that we got a first tap into support, price created a new lower high. We got another tap into support, price created an equal low, right? So the 5-minute should not close below this low. Otherwise, it's not a valid double bottom. And then I want to see a 5-minute candle close above the previous lower high by creating a new higher high, right? So now we have this double W pattern or this double bottom. That will be the first breakout structure that I want to look for. Now, what's the second one? The second one will be we approach our support in a bearish market structure, blah, 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 lower low, lower high, lower low. And then we have a break below the range and an immediate close back above, breaking this previous lower high here with volume, right? I like these setups because this could also be considered a liquidity grab. So what we have here now is this lower high. We have a new lower low being taken out, but we see a 5-minute candle close back above the range. So what I want to do here is after this 5-minute closes above, I want to get in on this trade, or I want to wait for a minor pullback to get in down here and then long this up as well. So this will be considered a, I would call this like a liquidity grab breaker structure. All right. And then the third one, which is my favorite, is you guys can also screenshot this, by the way, because I believe that these, like waiting for these breaker structures on my zones has increased my win rate insanely. Like, I'm not joking. Waiting for these is crazy. So the third one is we come into support, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then we have this here at the support. And then we have this here, and then this here, and then this. So what this does is instead of creating a lower low like we did here, we now create a higher low, right? Oops. Let me draw this. So how you can also draw this is in form of a trend line here. Trend line here, because we're moving up, right? We're slowly shaping price up. And then a break of this high here on the 5-minute time frame. And how would I get in here? So basically, I will get in over here, stop loss below this higher low here because we created a new higher high, target up into new highs. How would I get in here? Wait for the 5-minute to close above, wait for a minor pullback, get in aggressively, stops below my zone, target these highs. And then how I would get in here is wait for 5-minute to close above, stop loss below the double bottom and below my zone, and then target these highs. These are the three setups. And now you can basically reverse these for a bearish market structure. It's the exact same, just basically on a resistance instead of on a support. What session do you think moves gold the most? In my opinion, it's New York session typically. How to control your emotions during floating profits. I'm in a trade. I am up $800, but my target is 2K. When I catch out, it goes to TP. I leave it comes and hit my stop loss. Here's also like it's important to just trust your strategy, trust your profit target. Now, there's one key factor to know as a trader. One key factor is the first trade that you take on a day is the most well thought out and the best organized. It's the most neutral trade that you can take, right? So whatever stop loss you set when you were in a neutral state and whatever take profit you said when you were in a neutral state, that's how it should stay. I hope you kind of get this, right? Now, when you're not in a trade, you're totally emotionally unattached because obviously you're not in a trade. So you're chilling. So in a neutral state, you're like, yeah, I'm going to put my stop loss here because based on my strategy, it makes sense to put it here. And I'm going to put my TP here because based on my TP, it makes sense to put it here. But what happens once you're in a trade? Now suddenly you're emotional. You're like, oh, I'm a little bit in profit. Maybe I should close now. Oh my God, it's coming close to my stop loss. Maybe I should close now. But that is just your emotional handling on a decision that you already made when you were neutral. So what's the best thing here? You need to respect your neutrality, bro. I can speak. You need to respect your state of being neutral and hold it. If your TP is 2K, hold it to 2K. Move your stops to break even. And even if it stops you out of break even, it's a good day and it was a good trade because you applied your rules and you stayed disciplined and you respected your analysis and your strategy. Now, because what could happen, you close now, bro, at 800 and price ends up moving to 2K. So now next time you're angry about it and you're gonna sabotage, you're gonna end up sabotaging yourself, right? And you don't want to do that. So just move your stops to break even, bro. Chill. Wait to hold it out throughout the session. Now, what do I recommend though? Before hopping off the session, which my personal session ends in like 1 hour. So if in 1 hour, for example, I don't get any setups, but I'm in a trade, or if you're in a trade and your session ends, close the trade wherever it is, and then come back the next day. So if you close at 800 at a 1K, close it there because the session is over, bro, and the market is not really gonna keep moving. So you just want to take what the market gave you during your session and then just come back the next day. Do you prefer reacting to gold moves or predicting them? I like to react and adapt, guys. Mm, mm, mm. I work a machine operator and also do trading, job in trading. I'm going through a very difficult time. I've been in the market for 2 years. Fine, I can read fundamentals well, but I have a little psychological problem and some personal problems, family problems. Please guide me. Man, bro, I like I can't really help you directly, bro. But what I can tell you is you're on the right path. You just gotta stick with it. You gotta pull through, bro. There's gonna be times where it's not easy for anybody, and I understand the reasons why people get into trading in the first place because they want to make a living out of it, right? They wanna have this financial free life that social media promises you with trading. So I totally understand the reasons. But what you're doing right now is basically the best thing you can do. You have a job, so you have some money coming in that you can then reinvest into your trading, into your knowledge, right, into challenges. So you're already doing your best, bro. I believe what you got to work on though is probably your psychology when it comes to money, and your mindset when it comes to abundance and to loss. But that's a personal journey, literally, that every person has to go through themselves. So not just focus on learning the next best strategy, the fundamentals. Don't really focus on that, guys. More so focus on your mind and on reflecting for yourself. Why am I thinking this way? Why am I over trading right now? Why am I breaking my rules right now? Why do I keep repeating the same mistake again and again? Why am I not a profitable trader? Those are all questions you have to ask yourself. Do not ignore these questions because these are the fundamental questions you got to ask yourself to evolve into that profitable trader. There is no way around those questions. And it's not a simple answer like, I overtraded today because I just wanted to feel something. No, there's a reason behind that feeling. You got to figure that out. It's not superficial. Trading is so deep, and if you really want to make it, you have to dive really deep into like your lowest deepness and understand that. For me personally, I understood my relationship with money was a very special one because I grew up, like, story time real quick. um I grew up in a little more, I would say, in poor conditions, right? I had times where I was a kid where I was very poor. I didn't have a lot. So automatically my thought about money is I didn't have much, so now I want to make a lot because I don't want to ever relive that state of having to be hungry and not being able to afford food or anything. So my emotional trigger is that I do not want to be hungry anymore. I don't want to be poor anymore. So I got to do something in order to make money, right? So that was my core motivation why I started trading, why I started business and all of this. Now, I had to learn to rewire my brain from scarcity to abundance. So instead of thinking, oh, I don't have money, I can't afford this is too expensive, blah, 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 I rewired my brain to, I have enough, I am enough, I am abundant, and there's an unlimited amount of money, which is literally just paper with value, by the way. There's an unlimited amount of money available for everybody, right? And look at the market itself. There's 30, no, yeah, there's $30 trillion being moved left to right on a daily basis in the markets. So from these 30 or 3 trillion, I don't know if it's 3 or 30 trillion, who am I if I take my piece of the cake? If I take my 5K, right? The 5K don't matter for them. It doesn't matter for me though, right? So it's there's money for everybody. There's abundance for everybody. You have to accept the fact that you are willing to receive it. And that starts here. I know I'm kind of ranting right now, but I hope you kind of get that trading is not just charts and strategy. It's more what you do with your mind and what you think about what you deserve, by the way. What you think, what you deserve. Do I have my own channel? I do, so yes. Let me comment here in the comments so you guys can join in as well if you want to. I just sent green hearts. That's Evan Sean. That's my channel. You guys still, if you haven't yet, go to my channel, check out my vlog of the retreat, which was crazy. An entire movie, bro. I created a movie. How do you decide when to break your own rules, if ever? I do not want to break my rules. So I go in with the intention of not breaking my rules during my session. You guys really need to chill and review your trades and what works. I stopped school for trading, haven't made it yet, but I believe next year will be a good start. Yeah, Uwa. um I highly recommend, like I said, like I recommend everybody have at least like one stream of income where money comes in. um Especially at the beginning, if you're just starting out with trading, you gotta have something where money comes in, because if you don't have that, um any decision you make based on your trading will be an emotional trigger trade, which could end up in a backwards spiral, because you're trading for the money, you're not trading for the experience or for the knowledge, right? How do I avoid getting caught in gold's fake outs? You cannot really avoid that. You cannot avoid it. It's part of the game. You just gotta have your stop loss set, and if you get stopped out and the setup is still valid, then you could just look to re-enter. Yeah, let me reshare my screen here. Uh, let's go up. So gold is still chopping, guys. No setup yet. I believe today is a no trading day for me. Show an example of 1 hour, 4 hour zones you watch for the price to eventually bounce off. When price nears the zone, you switch to 5 minute. Yeah. So these are my zones right now, right? So I got my 1 hour range, which is a turquoise zone. The 40 60s, 40 56, this entire range. I got my 4 hour range, which is the 40 93s to the 4 4100s. And then I have my daily range down here at the 40 30s to the 40 25s, right around that range. So what would I be waiting for here? Wait for price to come back down here, for example. And now, like I mentioned you guys previously, in order to approach that zone, it will typically have a lower high, lower low, either on the 3 minute, 1 minute, or 5 minute time frame, right? So it's gonna be bearish all the way up to here. Now, once it reaches here, now here's where I'm gonna wait for one of the three break of structures. So it's either gonna be a double bottom, it's gonna be a trend line to the upside, or it's gonna be a liquidity grab close back above with volume, so I could take the buys here. If none of these happen, though, that's also great, can happen. I'm not going to be trading at all, because I don't see why I should sell from this point to this point until the daily candle closes below the range. Now, if the daily candle now closes below the range, now I'm more bearish bias, and I got a verification that we've closed below support, that the sellers took over. And now the next session, I want to wait for price to react here, break structure to the downside, right? And then I could take sales back down into my next sell. That kind of makes sense. And I also here break above. I do believe we're still kind of. I got a feeling we're still gonna break out bullish. Probably later today, bro. I feel like it's gonna happen here. Typically, when it starts to like squeeze like this on gold, it just has like a big breakout. How do I react when gold respects my analysis perfectly? Man, if I get a setup, I just take the trade. You're not ranting, but spitting the bitter truth on psychology facts, bro. I love that topic, bro. It's a really deep topic that a lot of people don't actually talk about, which is sad. How to keep funded accounts for longer, keep blowing them after one payout. Bro, minimize your risk. Pay out after you're like in profit, like 1 to 2%, just pay it out. Because long term, you got to think long term, bro. Depending on your account size, let's say you have a 50K account, you make 2% on that. That's already 1K. So if every month you make 1K, or every 2 weeks you make 1K, that's 2K a month. And then you start scaling your accounts as well, bro. With 1 or 2%, you should be chilling, right? So just focus more on increasing your funded amount, um, and then just pay out after like 1 or 2% in profit. Payout, payout, payout. Don't try to go for these big like returns, like 10%, 12%, because that's gonna end up, making you blow unnecessary. This is my first time in this channel, and I really learned a lot here. Much love, bro. It's a wonderful session. I appreciate you, man. Much love. I hope to see you next Monday as well, because I'm live every Monday for you guys. Only Forex, 7 to 9 trillion. Yeah, bro. It's crazy. How many trades do I recommend in a day? Comes up to you, but I would say max 2. Burrito. Should we do burrito today? Yeah, I think that burrito sounds good. How many pairs do you recommend beginners to trade? Maximum two, bro. Maximum two, not more. My video doesn't have enough views. Yeah, bro, we gotta push it, bro. I think like the YouTube algorithm takes a while until it kicks. Sometimes it takes like 1 to 2 months until it kicks. But you guys could go to my channel, show some love on the video. Appreciate you, Forex Fusion. Much love, man. I got you, Burhan. I love you, man. Sold gold actually haven't taken profits waiting for 1 to 8. Is this greed? Like I said, man, if it's part of your strategy, it should not be greed. But if you're trying to recover something or if you're trying to pass a challenge, hence why you're looking for 1 to 8, then you're kind of trying to force something into the market that is probably not there. So you have to understand your intentions and why do you want to hold a 1 to 8. You never enter trades during live, always low volatility Monday, bro, I swear. I mean, sometimes I do enter on trades, but I just don't show them on live because I don't want you guys to like FOMO in or anything. Because the main goal on trading is not money, it's more the mindset behind it. Do you ever go flat and decide not to touch gold for the day? Yes, like today. Descending triangle. Yeah, so one of two things could happen. No, actually anything could happen, but look, right now it could absolutely melt. Sellers will be like, "Yeah, we're selling now, let's go." Next thing is in 1 or 2 hours it will start recovering and probably go back above the range and then break out to the upside. So it's probably just gonna grab some liquidity deals down here, or it's gonna immediately like kind of break out to the upside, which is right now it's not looking like it, but it could still. But either or, like this entire range, you don't really want to trade this range, guys. You really don't want to trade this range. Not gonna lie. Yo, we're a little late today, guys. Because I went over all your questions, man. I love it. Especially FX Africa, man. I love your questions. Do you trade broker? Yeah, I use Think Markets. I use Think Markets. Trendline breakout will happen tomorrow, Asia. Yeah, I also feel like it's gonna be Asia. All right, guys, time for a giveaway, man. Y'all been waiting so patiently here. It's time for a giveaway, right? So, as always, guys, I'm giving away 3 10K challenges. All right, 3 10K challenges. So, in order to enter, what you gotta do is first of all leave a like on the stream. Leave a like on the stream. If you don't leave a like on the stream, you're not gonna be entered. And the second thing, you want to drop hashtag burrito in the comments. Let's do hashtag burrito today. Hashtag burrito, all in small, double R, if you want to enter on the challenge, on the giveaway. One for me, one for you. Yeah, a lot of questions today. I love it, man. How do I stay patient when gold takes forever to hit my zone? I just use alarms, bro. I recommend everybody using alarms. You have your zones, put an alarm. If price is not in your zone, you don't want to trade. And if it hits your zone, you're going to get an alarm and then a notification, and then you can go ahead and trade. So in that way, you avoid being, sticking to the chart the entire time. Hashtag burrito and a like on the stream if you guys want to be entered on the giveaway. Now, another important info. If you've won a 10K challenge before, and you should have already commented, and you win a challenge, please let us know in the comments so we can give it to somebody else, because I want to make sure that everybody wins at least once. Oh, let me stretch out here. Ooh, that's a good stretch. Oh yeah. Hashtag burrito, like on a stream, enter on a giveaway. Let me prepare this here for you guys. Burrito double R and all in small, guys. Paid for a challenge today. Let's go. I hope you used some type of a discount code, bro. So we got three winners. Yes. Hashtag. Remember to leave a like on the stream, guys, to enter on the giveaway. Comment hashtag burrito, all in small, and you have the chance to win one of three 10K challenges today. All right, guys, we're ready. I think we're ready. I hope everybody had the chance to enter now. Let's shuffle up the comments a little bit for transparency reasons. We'll start off. Let's start it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And the winners are Umo, James, Burhan, Ali, and Fahar. Congratulations, guys. You won a 10K challenge. Please let me know in the comments if you've already won before. And if so, please be so nice and kind to give it to somebody else. Let me know in the comments if you've won yet, if you've won before. Burhan already won. Burhan, can you please verify? Can you please verify that you've won before so we could give it away to somebody else? Or have you not? I mean, if you have won, but it's been like, I don't know, like 2 months or so, then it's fine. Congrats, though. Congrats, guys. Spam some W's in the chat for the winners, guys. And for anybody that did not win, do not worry. Do not worry. Yeah, Umo James, you got it, bro. Burhan won previous stream in Dowie. Yeah, I think I honestly we'll leave it like this right now, guys. But for the next stream, I think I'm gonna kind of go a little bit more different about giving away. Because we do have a lot of people that have never won before that join every stream, right? Luck is just not on their side. And I want to reward active members of the community as well. So I think next time I'll do it a little bit different to give away the challenges. So just a heads up, make sure to tune in and the next Monday as well. And probably the possibility of you winning will be a little higher if you're active in the stream. Because I want to reward you want burrito? Yeah, I want to reward active community members. But yeah, to the winners, guys, make sure to contact our support on Discord. So join our Discord channel and contact support, and you will get your login details. For anybody that has not received their login details yet, please spam the support on Discord until they give you their credentials that you deserve. Luck is refusing to be on my side. Nah, bro, you gotta just show up. Like I said, next stream I'll do it a little bit different. With the giveaway. Like I said, I want to reward active members that come regularly into the stream. That support me, that support the stream and whatever. All right, guys. So before heading off, let's break down gold real quick for you. So right now we're breaking the lows. I do see the potential of price coming down to 40.30 right now if we can keep up with this volume. So you could basically, what's the 5 minute looking? Yeah, so we already got a break of the low here on the 5 minute time frame. That's the first indication for sales. So if you're feeling a little bit aggressive today, this will be a nice sell setup all the way down to this range. I'm not personally gonna take this because it's just a little too aggressive for me. But that could be potential setup. Now, besides that, I have an alarm down here. I want to wait for price to reach this, see if I could get a break of structure and take buys back up into the trend line and then maybe even above. Or if we now kind of reverse and break above this range, I want to wait for break and retest above this range for the buys up here. And now long term, guys, honestly, let's look at the long term. Yeah, I do see it coming back down here for sure. Take out these lows, at least. Now, if we close back below this range on a daily time frame tomorrow, I want to wait for a break and retest for me to take sales down into this range and maybe even all the way back down into the daily range. That is, react and adapt to what the market is doing here, right? So that's it from me. Thank you for teaching, and especially ThinkCapital. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. I love you guys, and I'll see you on see you guys next Monday. Make sure to tune in because we're about to go crazy again. Take care, guys. Don't over trade, don't over risk. Make sure to stay disciplined and stay patient, man. Wait for your setups, and once you get your setup, only then execute. Do not try to force anything because by forcing, you're just taking steps backwards instead of forward. All right, guys. Take care. Love you guys. Peace out.